Okay, hi everyone. It's Dr. Downing here. Today we're going to talk about the course syllabus. So settle in. These usually range 20, 25, sometimes 30 minutes. Maybe not quite that, but just letting you know how to set your expectations here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And there we go. Looking at the course syllabus. Okay, from the top, I'm Dr. Downing, Kutztown University of Pennsylvania. This is Technical Writing and Communication, Spring Semester 2026, Tuesday and Thursday from 1:30 to 2:45 in Rohrbach Library, Room 17. Contact information for me. My office is in Old Main, 438 Old Main. In-person contact is best, either in my office or by appointment, or in the classroom before or after class. I often allow time at the end of class in case you need to talk. Give me a heads up prior to the class session. Dr. D, I need a word. And then I'll look at the clock and, maybe let the students go 5 minutes early, something like that, so we can talk. So think about that because connection and conversation is essential to this class. This is not a correspondence class. It's an in-person class, and I want that interaction. My email address is here. I think I say this somewhere downward, and if we do hit it, don't look for my office hours and other information about me on various other platforms. So when they started introducing all of these platforms years ago, what do I mean by that? MyKU and Starfish and Engage and who knows what else. I used to try to keep up with that, but then it becomes overwhelming because they just keep introducing these platforms, and it's difficult for me to put up all of my information on keeping all that stuff updated, you know. So look to the syllabus, talk to me, send me an email. I can send you office hours, but they are right here. For example, right here, office hours are Tuesday and Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning, and Wednesday from 9:30 to 12:30. Other hours by appointment. If we cannot meet in person, Zoom is an option, but in person is preferred. I'd like to see you come in. We can have a nice conversation, get everything settled. More happens in an in-person situation. Um, a word on office hours. Pre-COVID, and I think it was exactly 2019, I had 105 student appointments throughout the semester. Now that includes advisees, but whatever, 75 students came to see me during that semester. And there was a lot of sharing of writing and me providing feedback individually and that sort of thing. COVID killed that. Last semester, I may have had 10 students. And then, if you add the advisees, I think I have 20 advisees. So 10 non-advisees came to see me last semester. So that's all disappeared. I want to say to you now that in class, I will provide global feedback on assignments. You will have a draft due. I will open all of them on the big screen. I will scroll through them, preview through them so that you can see what everybody else's work looks like. And I will give feedback. I will look at all those drafts before class, and then I'll go in and I'll say, this is what I'm seeing. Here are the adjustments that need to be made. And everybody restitches all of those assignments in order to get them to the level that I'm looking for, the minimum level, right? And then you should be asking questions beyond that. So engagement is a big part of the class. We are also going to do comments, which I'll talk about in the timeline, but I can, while they're in my head right here. So throughout the semester, I'm going to ask you to write short comments, like a paragraph. I'm just looking for content, from you. We will talk about the various models that we'll look at, models that students had written previously that I have in Google folders that I can present to all of you to look at. And then you write a little thing like say, oh, this was interesting. This is something that I learned. I'm not looking for a lot there, but I do want the interaction. But we'll look at user manuals and white papers and things like that. So that will be the comments in the class. That is more precisely spelled out on the course timeline. So here are the office hours, Tuesday and Thursday. I covered that already. Yep. Okay, course description then. This is an in-person class. Students will study, discuss, and produce technical materials with specific focus on avenues for employment in the field, including Technology, medical, money, science, legal, and procedural, which is how to. The study of user manuals, white papers, reports, and video explanations will also be included. Emphasis will be on clarity, precision, audience, tone, language, style, consistency, and revision. Effective use of visuals will be stressed, as will internal and external consistency. Now, you've seen that word pop up twice already. It is a big driving force in the class, all essential to the class. In-class discussion, here we are, and brief written comments also will be part of class activities. Now, what I did is I was experimenting with tests in this class, and I can talk, I'll give it to you in a nutshell. What I did for experimentation, because one of the things we'll be discussing in this class is AI, large language models, and the generation of text like that. And what I did, I took the Wikipedia entry on technical writing and I put that into ChatGPT. I think I had to section it because it could only absorb so much. And I had it create multiple choice tests. And if you want to see those, we can look at them. But, last semester they were okay. Basically, that was all open book and we went through them and I think they served a purpose. But I think it will be better if we engage in terms of comments back and forth. So it was an experiment. And it's one of the things that large language models are good for is taking content and then restructuring it. So that's a thing. Course materials then. Syllabus, timeline, course handbook, gradebook, links to publications, all available on D2L. It says links to publications there. This doesn't affect technical writing so much, but I will take you through it. You have subscriptions to the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Atlantic, among other things. You have access to those through the Rohrbach library. So I'm going to have you connect to those and have access to them. Let me ask now, do any of you have access to those? We're not going to do it in class right now, but I'll probably, right, catching myself now, I'll probably pause the video right here so that we can do that. Where am I? Other materials, models will be available on the Google Drive. Please note that the Google Drive is where we develop drafts. This is very important, and where I provide global feedback. Final submissions will go to the D2L Dropbox as PDFs for eternal safekeeping. I encourage you to put all deadlines from the timeline into your calendar. I would encourage you to print your calendar physically and put it on the refrigerator in your house or apartment so that you can pay attention to that. Because once we get rolling, and it's going to happen right away, it's going to be draft, final version, draft, final version, draft, final version, and then you'll be writing short comments along the way. None of these assignments are long. And since we're here, I'll just say it. Essentially, for all of the writing assignments in the various genres that we're going to explore, and I had them here, right? Technology, medical, money, science, legal, procedural. They're all single page documents. The procedural is going to be a video, so don't sweat that. But the formal writing assignments in this class are single page documents. And what I want to plant in your heads now is you all work for me, and I'm the publisher, the owner of the company. And one of the things that we do is we produce materials for doctors' offices, for dentist offices, for legal firms, maybe for financial investment, guidance people, right? Financial people. And what we specialize in is single page. So you come to work for me and it's a handout. All of this by way of saying you go into a doctor's office and you see all about skin cancer, and you take that off the shelf and you can sit down and read it, and it's got a description of what it is and what the treatments are and how to avoid it and things like that. And at the bottom it's got some sources. You're going to do this again and again and again, and the citations will be different depending on the assignment. They can be embedded, all of which I'll teach you. Okay, but that's what this is. And deadlines. So, right, I was talking about deadlines. And then once we get started, you're going to have these one-page assignments due regularly. I think there are 7 of them. I would need to double check. Okay. Course rationale. Describing technical processes and concepts verbally and in writing are essential skills for any college graduate. In fact, dozens of students who have taken this class have told me over the years that this class has helped them with managing, structuring, completing writing assignments for other college courses, all with an eye for consistency and completeness. Also, technical writers get jobs. They create documentation for all industries, including manufacturing, tech development, marketing, research, medical, legal, science, just to name a few. This page is Bureau of Labor Statistics. We can pause here and look at that quickly. Course objectives, then, among many, there are 13 of them. Students will attend class regularly and be prepared to participate verbally. Complete reading assignments, study various categories of technical writing naturally, produce written technical content that is internally and externally consistent, produce video how-to content, design a page and incorporate images effectively, revise and proofread closely, participate in peer review, use the web for ongoing research, explore trends in the job market, create clear, compelling technical content appropriate to a target audience. And then the last two here that I'm amplifying from above, complete drafts on time and submit to Google folder. They'll already be in there. You don't need to submit anything necessarily. We're all going to create the documents in class. So if you're coming to class, you've got a document, I'll show you how to set it up. And then all you need to do is build it out from there. And that becomes the draft. And then number 13, complete final versions on time and submit to D2L as PDFs. This teaches you about PDFs. We'll talk about what they are. And then they've got to go into the D2L Dropbox because the Google folders, that's like dust in the wind, right? They'll be important to us this semester, but in 2 or 3 years, I will delete them, little by little in sequence. So as time goes by to get it off the drive, So we need to have the PDF, the official PDF versions in a lockbox, which is D2L. I'll talk more about that. But that's why, students say, why do we have to submit twice? That's why. Okay, here's the timeline. I'm not going to do a deep dive on this. I will create a separate video for the timeline, but I want to show it to you from beginning to end. What it has is individual dates, the class numbers. We meet 28 times. The final exam session, the activity that we're going to do. There's always roll call. Again, I'm not going to go deep into this. I just want to show you the activity and the points. Okay, on to reading assignments then. I will provide models in various Google Drive folders. Same for articles, that models, all kinds of things. Students models, professional models, articles. We will build this, and I will build this. I have a whole bunch. I just need to take a look in my library and start posting them there. You will also be asked to paste. I'm not sure. Oh, I see what I mean. It is right. It just looks weird. To paste and title links. Yeah, I want to title. I'll just keep it simple. What I meant by that is I'll ask you to copy and paste a link and then give it a name. Tell us what it is, so it's just not a link. I'll show you how to do that into a shared folder. So based on material we find during class time. So when we are conversing about things, things related to the genre that we're studying, money and what is a bond, what is the treasury, what is this, what is that. And if you find something, we have the option of sharing that link so that we can look at it together. I don't want it to be inundated, right? You can't all send me a link or add it to the folder, I should say. The math would be 25 of you sending me a link times 7, right? Which is 175, right? Okay. On we go. Submissions and deadlines. Drafts go into the Google folder, final submissions to D2L's PDFs. We'll stick with deadlines throughout the semester as mandated by previous students. Attendance, participation, documentation, and accommodations. Now, this gets pretty serious here, so let me dial in. This is an in-person class. We will meet 28 times plus a final. Students are expected to be there for all of it. Class sessions are loaded with points and loaded with information. So come to class and earn the points and get the info. You can't miss a bunch of classes and then say, have me certify, oh yeah, you took the class successfully. You missed 8 classes. And here we are, 8. 8 or more unexcused absences in a Tuesday, Thursday class automatically converts to a failing grade for the course. And if I need to add that, I will. I cannot in good faith certify to the university completion of the course with that level of absenteeism. You are seeing right now how much ground I'm covering in, how long have I been talking? Barely 15 minutes. Each class is 75 minutes. I mean, right? It's impossible. I do receive accommodation letters directly from the university. If you would like to follow up with me in person, please feel free to talk before or after class or schedule an appointment. If you have an emerging situation, medical, familial, accidental, legal, I will work with you, but proper documentation is required. Acceptable forms of documentation include, but are not limited to, prescriptions, doctor dentist notes, vehicle repair receipts, legal papers, notes from parents. Other situations are handled on a case by case basis. I'll support you, but communicate with me immediately and show me adequate rationale. KU Student Handbook, it says students assume responsibility for all this, for notifying professors when they're missing classes and for coming up with. So it's not my policy, it's his university policy. I'm not going to read all that to you. There is a KU Student Handbook. It's called The Key. The link is there. I can put this on the drive, all those things if you're interested. The University Writing Center. This part is up in the air, yeah. This language comes over from composition class, but I don't think I'm going to do this. So let's just do this. Create a regular habit of visiting. It is a free service for students where KU or other KU students offer advice and assistance with writing assignments from any course or subject. Tutors can assist in improving the composing process as well as with difficulties with development, organization, style, all that stuff. Basically, for you in this class with the single page assignments, do a draft and then go. You might make a friend. I mean, I'm always looking out for your humanity, and we'll talk about these things. Can you even see it? These phones that we're tied to. But I'm going to encourage you to reach out. They can ask questions and see your work in new ways. To be blunt, nobody writes in a vacuum. All serious writers have at least one editor. Get another set of eyes on your work. The University Writing Center is located on the main floor of the library. There's a phone number. There's an email address. They are great and can help take your work to them. Of course, policy on the use of generative AI. This includes Grammarly and others. There are essentially three types of established academic policies related to the use of large language models. In coursework, prohibited, negotiated/transparent, and permitted. The policy for this class is negotiated or transparent. Students may only use large language models in this class with the knowledge and permission of the instructor. I encourage experimentation, just don't hide it. Note, Grammarly is now a form of AI. If you intend to use it, please let me know. I want to know what it does. Don't hide it. Meaning I will accompany you in exploration of if you take your work and you want to see what the outcome is, give AI a prompt and let it do something with it. I want to be part of that. And then, you can even add that in the folder with your draft right underneath it. You'll give it the same name, which is your last name, first name, medical, and then you're going to put Chat GPT afterwards so that in class we can take a look at the two. I want to know that, but I absolutely am not going to let you just take the assignment and give it to AI. Learn how to do it. These assignments are short. Learn the skill. Create the brain connections. All right. Large language models can certainly serve as a tool in certain situations. For example, this is just a general thing. I asked it to put together a 28-day itinerary for a trip to Ireland and gave me a tremendous first draft. In that way, it serves, excuse me, as a good aggregator, but I don't take that and put my name on it, right, and pretend that it's mine. So it's a tool, but it needs to be used in the right way. We're going to talk all about AI this semester. So it can also provide an excellent fill-in-the-blank structure for a resume. Good way to get started without using a restrictive template like in Word. Now, if you use it and hide it, it is not your writing. And if I receive a paper that sounds like it's been written by Wikipedia, like straight up, we're going to have a conversation. You're paying top dollar for your education. Learn to access your own thoughts and arrange them on a page effectively. And in the process will reward you by making you smarter and more experienced. And know that I'm particularly good. Most of my faculty friends are pretty good at spotting AI written work, but I'm a journalist and a technical writer. I was human AI before there was AI, meaning people would give me material and I would put it into newsletters. I would put it into reports. I know how to structure in that way. I know how to write that kind of style. So when it looks precisely like polished Downing style, I'm going to express some concern. You get what I'm saying. To be clear then, students may use large language models in this class only with the knowledge and permission of the instructor. Again, I want to know about your experience with the technology so I can guide other students. So don't fear reprisal. You'll create more problems trying to hide it. Plagiarism. Remember that AI itself is a form of plagiarism. LLMs steal by scraping material from the web in order to sell that material back to us. Genius, right? Yes, there are emerging paywalls for AI use. They are here and they will become more ubiquitous. Plagiarism is the act of taking the work of others, including AI, and presenting it as one's own without properly acknowledging the source. It's plain and simple. At its worst, plagiarism is exact copying, but it also includes stealing a paraphrased version of the opinions and work of others without giving proper credit. It also includes the covert use of AI. Sanctions. I'm not going to read all this to you, but you can fail the assignment, you can fail the course, you can be suspended from the university, and you can be dismissed from the university. It goes from me to my department chair up to the provost. If it's a first offense, it usually comes back to the professor. It's like, well, what are you proposing? What do you like to do? If it's more than one offense, then it can get deeper and all of that. But yes, you could be permanently dismissed from the university if you continue, if there's a pattern of using AI to do your work. Right. And for a moment, think about it. It's like I'm playing by the same rules here. If I'm on a committee and we have to produce a document, I have to write the document if I'm going to put my name on it. I can't depend on AI. AI hallucinates and gives weird stuff. So now, I would have to do that and then go back and look at what it produced to make sure it's what I needed to say. And, it's easier in the long run just for me to produce on my own. We'll talk about composing actually with phones. I encourage that in all my classes. You can use it in here if you like. Although, again, these assignments are short. I don't think students tend to do a lot of phone composing and technical writing, but it is a method. Accommodations. I receive accommodation letters directly from the university. If you would like to follow up with me in person, please feel free to talk before or after class or schedule an in-person appointment or a Zoom. Fragrance. Now, this is a big one that I covered in the other video, the first video. Please refrain from wearing fragrance to class. I'm allergic to chemical scents, as are other students. Our classroom is also a fishbowl. I try to keep the air flowing, but let's not make it worse. Save the scent for Saturday night, please. Title IX, Clery Act mandated reportage. Educators must report incidents of gender-based crimes, including sexual assault, sexual harassment, stalking, dating, violence, or domestic violence. If a student discloses in class, in papers, or to me personally, I am required by law to report the disclosure. So follow me here that it's only happened twice to me, and this is 19 years I'm at Kutztown, where students started to disclose something that was happening with a boyfriend or acquaintance, right? And the situation was intense. I said to them in both instances, that I'm going to have to say something, and should you continue, know that I have to say something. And in both cases, the student said they were cool with that, and so I reach out to the university, and then the university reaches out to the students, and it's a safety check, is what it is. So know that technical writing, it never comes up. We're not writing personal disclosure here. You're mastering these various genres of writing in order to enable yourselves, potentially as professional writing majors who have their eye on this kind of thing, creating a career. I have another two students that have gone into medical within the last couple of years, medical writing. They've also gone into computer documentation, and they write white papers, and they put together user manuals, all these kinds of things that we'll talk about. Almost there, just these last two. Thanks for your patience. COVID and masks. Masks in class are optional, but encouraged during flu season. Masks during in-person office hours may be required. I actually have a box in my drawer, so If we need them, we'll use them. I ask you to not keep, I mean, if you're really sick, don't come and see me in my office. Let's do a Zoom, right? Syllabus timeline is subject to modification. There may be times when we need to make certain allowances or modifications to the course syllabus and or timeline. I will discuss all changes with the class before implementing them. I typically never add anything. I don't add anything. Instead, changes come when we don't have enough time to complete certain assignments, or if they need to be replaced, and I propose we simply drop them. I usually don't get much pushback. Like if we, and again, tech writing is a class that just stays on rhythm the whole time. Typically, we don't get sidetracked typically, but if we can't get to something, then I will just drop it. Or if we decide to replace one activity with another, we just drop the grades and replace it. It's all straightforward enough. From here, then, there are instructional resources, and looks like I need to trim this down so it's all on 5 pages instead of 6. And that is it. I'm going to stop my share. Thanks so much. Basically, now you've seen this is basically a model also for a how-to video. I'll continue to make that point as well. Okay, that's all I have. Talk to you soon.